Hello everyone and welcome to this video where I'm going to be introducing the second ever official build challenge that I'm hosting on my Discord server, and it is called the Starter Boat Gloat. So pretty much, in short, what you're supposed to do is build a rescue boat that fits in the starter base, which is the green building behind me. So on the left hand side here you see 3 of my boats that would qualify for this type of challenge. They're only here as an example because, unlike last time where you guys got the van chassis and you had to build it, this time the world is your oyster. So you get to build anything you want as long as it doesn't have XML coding, and there are several other rules we are going to be going through in a second here. So here is what it looks like on my Discord server. There's the picture, and then we go into explaining that you're tasked with building a starter rescue boat. You do have more freedom this time. The challenge will be closed in 20 days since this video, which is October 25th. This is live updating depending on your time zone. For me, it is midnight, which was intentional. The winner will be announced hopefully within 3 weeks. There's 1 submission allowed per user. By submitting a creation, you're allowing me to showcase it on my YouTube channel. And then I give the naming convention, so you have to read all these rules, but here are some instructions. So it can be any size as long as it's spawnable in the starter base location. It can have a cabin or be open. It should have life-saving gear. It should be able to perform rescue missions, and it must not have mounted weapons. So I don't want to see massive machine guns mounted on your vessel. That is not allowed. And the theme is rescue, but take that as you will. You can make it any color scheme you want. Like you're allowed to be creative, and I encourage it. So challenge rules: your submission must be specifically built for this challenge and not be one of your previous designs. Plagiarism will not be tolerated. No XML modding. The boat must be spawnable in the starter location. You can add smaller creations such as a helicopter, rib, life raft, etc. But it must either be my creation that you add, so it has to be smaller than the vessel obviously, or it must be your own custom creation, but you cannot download someone's rib or someone's helicopter and place it. It has to be your own. Now, there is one interesting rule that I'm putting here to spice things up. You will be allowed to use one external microcontroller that is created by another user in the Steam workshop. So this microcontroller must be linked in your description, so you have to link it. You're only allowed one, and even if you modify it, that still counts towards your one limit. So if you want to take a radar that someone else made, if you want to take some kind of camera system, if you want to take an engine microcontroller, whatever, you're just allowed one. Only one. Now, I know people are asking me, oh, but why can't we take microcontroller for an engine? First of all, I made a video explaining how to make an engine microcontroller. Second, if you have not learned how to make an engine microcontroller, this is your perfect opportunity. And third, if you are struggling, you can look at the rule above, which says you can add a smaller micro creation or microcontroller, but it must be my creation or your own. So you are allowed to extract my microcontroller from one of my ships. But be careful, you cannot extract a microcontroller from my ship that is created by someone else. So you have to look at what I've referenced in my creation. So for example, any of those crazy underwater sonar scans or radar, that stuff I did not make, but you can take my engine controller, my generator controller, anything like that. So that is allowed. And then of course, no offensive or poor taste creations are allowed. The winner will be selected on the same criteria as last time, which is aesthetics, function, creativity, ease of use, personal opinion, and this time we've added one, which is a field test. So I'm going to be doing a field test with the finalists' creations, and we'll see how they do, and that will dictate who wins. Now, I'm not going to specifically explain what the final this rescue mission is, but I'm going to create a mission that is going to be standard for all the vessels that you guys submit, and they will be used. The prize. So top 10 submissions will be showcased in a YouTube video. Top 3 submissions will be trial tested, and the winner will be announced. The winner will get 1 month of the Patreon Pro Supporter role on my Discord server. So this does not mean that you get the actual Patreon membership. I can't give those, unfortunately. I would if I could for 1 month, but you're going to get all the perks, which is the early access to videos, pre-testing creations, exclusive creations, access to a private chat, all that good stuff will be given to the winner, and happy building. So you got to react to this, and then you will be given access to the chat room where you guys can talk and showcase what you're working on. Now, as a little showcase for you guys, now this does have a mounted gun, so actually this one would not qualify. It has 2 of them, but the other ships next to it do not, so ignore those mounted guns for now. But what I do want to give is a quick little introduction to these ships, just in case you have not used them before. So we see here, there's just a little bridge, a tiny little entrance area, but down here we do have sort of a little bedroom. So that's what this guy has. The Basca one is the largest of these 3, and it does even have some sort of boarding ramp system, so this is interesting to this. It has lots of seats. You will for sure need lots of seats for all of your people that you rescue, as well as down here. Now this one even has a medical bed, so that is useful to have too. And then of course it has a crew cabin as well. So just showing you guys these to give you some ideas. Again, this is my creation, but you guys are free to take inspiration from it. Now this is the smallest one, but honestly in my opinion probably the most useful out of them, just because it's so easy to maneuver. And likewise it has a tiny little cabin. Now this one has a really interesting way to get into the cabin beneath, which is the bedroom. So you have to open this, the whole steering wheel moves, and here you are inside your little bedroom cabin. Again, your ship does not need to have this. It can be fully open air, but again, these are some examples. You do not need to follow this color scheme. You could follow whatever color scheme and theming you want. That will be judged, as well as all those other items, including the functionality. So hopefully this is a fun challenge. The first challenge where we did the van, people were saying they would have preferred to have more freedom in creating something that is more creative. So in this case, we are giving that option. And luckily with the video that I have explaining how to make a ship and a boat, hopefully people can take those, and even if they're not very skilled or have not had much experience with creating a boat, we might get some people out of their comfort zone and trying something new, which is always good. And of course, hopefully having fun in the process. So thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for the challenge as it goes on, and as always, happy Stormworksing. Hey everyone, it's me again. I would just like to thank all my fans and supporters, especially my Patreon supporters. In this case, we have Programmer137. He is the first one. I'm sure he won't be the last one. Follow along for exclusives, for extras, for all sorts of other stuff. But any support is good support, so even if you don't want to join this, even just joining my Discord or putting a comment on my video is good enough. Thank you everyone.